thinking that you could have the first word, but we didn't talk about it.
We didn't.
Say the first word. Ready?
The first word.
This is going to be a really...
Hello, world.
really good time together.
Yeah,
Hello, world. Yeah, welcome to Facebook Live. I'm Becky Higgins, and everything that we do around here ties back to cultivating a good life and recording it. This is my brother, Kevin Allgaier, if
Hello.
you ever wondered how to pronounce it.
That's how you do it.
That's how. Allgaier.
Yes.
We grew up with brutalized options to that.
It's a daily struggle.
Yeah, for you.
Yeah. Yes, not for
Not
you
for me
anymore. No.
Are you dinging? Is that you?
I am not dinging anymore.
All right, so Kevin, he lives in Utah. Mm-hmm. We're here in Arizona. Mm-hmm. His family came down for spring break, so we're like, well, hey, let's...
Kind of makes sense. We're going to hang out.
Obviously.
And let's hang out on Facebook.
Because we
Of
love
course.
ya, and why not?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of you know Kevin because he sometimes shows up as a guest on our blog or even tips through social media. Like, he is all things technology guru.
Random sightings?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes. Yeah. It's going to be one of those broadcasts.
Speaking of weirdness, which is what we are together, we want to give a special shout out to our mom.
Yes,
so
we
Mom,
do.
We have your Afghan right here. We figured we would just,
How are we going to do this?
just
There we go.
cuddle up in the Afghan that you made. Mom has made so many of these Afghans for all of your kids, all of my kids,
Lots of people.
all the grandkids.
250 now? Something like
Is that her count?
I have no idea,
it's
but it
insane,
feels like it.
because one of these takes a tremendous amount of time. She's crazy fast, but
it would take me about a month and a half, and I think it takes her about 15 minutes.
it would take you longer
Something
than
like
that.
that.
It's about 15 minutes. And
But they're
fun fact,
amazing.
she's made one of these for everybody on my team. Everyone
That's
has
right.
one, which is really
I use them all the
fun.
time.
Molly uses it all the time.
So there's
Awesome.
a little shout out to Mom, who may or may not be watching live, but we know that she'll catch us at some point. So she's probably going, oh, the heart eyes are like flying.
My three favorite kids.
Okay. Miriam, our honorary. Okay, Kevin doesn't know this. You gotta-
Oh.
Can you see her? Is she okay?
Yeah, she's in it.
Tell what this is about.
So, the truth is out. Becky and I are actually sisters.
What?
Yes!
Hey, sis.
Except not. Okay, seriously, what do people say?
They always comment how much we look like.
Yeah, isn't that funny? Do you
That
see
is
it?
funny.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I see more
We're kind of
race
like
in
the
you. Like
Like a different race? Oh, like that race.
Race.
like that race.
Huh.
So, like, maybe I'm his sister?
I don't know.
We're basically the Olsen twins. Pretty much.
I think so.
My mom says hi, I'm sure.
Oh, she's texting right now.
Miriam she's been with us for several months, and she said this morning, she's like, I keep getting comments that I look like you, and I'm like, really? Like, yeah, I know. So you didn't even know that you had another sister.
No, I didn't. I do now.
I'm Kevin's only sister.
Only.
There are 5 boys and 1 girl in our family, so I scored. Not even a little bit. Just kidding. I totally did. All right, we're gonna jump in to all things
Consulting business, based out of Utah, and work with clients from.
Hold on.
Porter was just calling you.
Oh.
Should we have David calling?
Yes. David, call Porter.
That's awesome.
Sorry.
No big deal.
And
Did that-
someone said it was
did
cutting
that-
out. I think that might be why it was.
Oh,
Oh,
it probably
did it-
was. If it cut out, that was because my son was trying to call me.
And welcome back.
But my husband's here at the office, so. And you guys need to be a little quieter, unless you have specific plans of quiet actions. I don't know what
So
they're doing.
was that like a commercial break?
I guess so.
Okay. Welcome back from the commercial break.
Seriously.
Anyway, so all things technology. That's what I do, and that's what I love. So.
And you teach it really well. That's why this even makes sense, because people have a lot of questions about tech all the time.
all
but
the
it
time.
takes someone who really knows what they're talking about, but also who can teach it, who can explain it in a way that dumbs it down. I don't mean that I mean that for
Who
me.
can break it down into
break
bite-sized chunks.
it down.
Break it down into bite-sized chunks that make sense.
Yes.
And I try not to speak too much. What's the word? Techese? What's the language? Anyway,
Techinese.
I speak Techinese.
Yeah, sure.
I speak English most of the time. I'm still working
Sometimes
on that.
Spanish.
Si, señorita. Ooh la la.
We
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
There's too many inside jokes. There's too many inside inside jokes. We both had the
As you would
same
imagine.
Spanish teacher in high school. I mean, we love senior discussion, but we learned nothing. Yo,
We learned Taco Bell. We Kyoto S.
Okay, we gotta go.
We learned, yes. Okay, here we go. We learned a few things by the way. Thank you, Senor Discussion.
Yes, we do appreciate you. All right, so
So
here's
let's
the
talk
deal. Here's
Okay.
the deal. On social media, people ask questions. That's what this is. So we're going to just answer a handful of those questions that you guys asked on social media. Really, Kevin's answering them. There were a couple directed toward me, so I'll stay here and hang out.
And just, we're not going to get through all of them.
Oh,
because
heck no.
this is just a summarized list, but there's a whole lot more, and there's probably more that will come after the fact too.
Probably so.
So I would suggest, and tell me if I'm wrong, but continue using those social feeds to keep posting questions, and we'll get answers back.
Yeah,
So-
for sure.
And Molly's going to help with that too.
She will, and we won't be able to address every single question. But if you are interested in understanding more and you want some more help from Kevin, your website and your social. Let's mention that just for people who would like to know.
So my website is allgaierconsulting.com. That's ALLGAIER consulting.com, and my social handles are Kevin Allgaier. So I'm on Facebook, kind of, sort of. I spend a lot of my time on Twitter and Instagram, though. And all of those are Kevin Allgaier.
Yep,
That's
find him there.
K-E-V-I-E.
And he's regularly sharing tips. In fact, subscribing to your emails has been a lot of fun for people because you share a lot of tips that help people. So that's really cool. Okay, so I'll ask you some questions.
Okay.
Ready for this?
Interview, question, and
Okay,
answer.
don't be nervous. Okay.
Okay, I'm ready.
Someone asked, does having items in iCloud Drive take up space on my mobile device?
Yes and no. Next.
Okay. Yes and no.
Yes and no, kind of, sort of. So the idea is you have, a lot of people are a little confused as to what cloud really is or means.
Okay.
Basically, the cloud is just a series of servers or services that are somewhere not here. So the idea is with email, for example, you have an email server that's in the cloud somewhere. And so when you check email, it's downloading those emails. With iCloud, Dropbox, Google Drive, all of those services are cloud-based services. So the idea is all of your data primarily lives on your laptop or your device, but then it syncs up to this server in the cloud. And you can then delete those files or those things from your local device, but it still stays in the cloud. There's a caveat there. We'll get to that in another question. And so you can choose, in most cases, you can choose whether you have a copy of your data in both of those locations, taking up storage on your local device and the cloud, or if you just want a copy in the cloud. Dropbox, for example, is another great example that a lot of people can relate to, because I can put a whole bunch of stuff on Dropbox and then choose not to sync all of that on my laptop or my phone, so therefore it takes up no space on those devices.
Totally.
Does that make sense?
Let me give an example to that, because I'm a user of Dropbox. I'm a fan of Dropbox. And I have everything on Dropbox. All my files, my pictures, my video, everything. My laptop, which one do I have?
MacBook.
I have the MacBook. It's not the Pro.
No, 12-inch MacBook is what you have.
Okay, so it's little, it's light, it's awesome for travel.
Not much storage.
So not much storage, right? And so Dropbox, it's all in the cloud, it's all online. I can access it from my laptop by going to Dropbox.com and accessing it all there. But as far as what's actually synced to my computer and taking up space there, currently, just as of this moment, which I can change yesterday, today, and tomorrow, is just our videos.
Right.
Because I've been heavily working on organizing home videos and stuff like that. And so I can choose to have just that syncing to my laptop. That's the only thing that's taking up space there, because I don't honestly even have room for a whole lot else right now, while I have all of the videos syncing to that computer. So
that's Dropbox. The question was specifically addressing iCloud. It depends on how you're using iCloud, whether you're talking about photos in iCloud or documents in iCloud. Either way, it's the same. So if you're syncing photos to iCloud using the iCloud Photos Library feature, which I love, and we'll get into that later, you can choose on my laptop, for example, only to download thumbnails of my whole library, not the whole library itself. So in most cases, you can choose whether you're syncing a local copy of all of that data or not.
Okay.
So that's why I say yes and no.
Yes and no. Yes
because
or no.
it really is up to you, and in most cases, you can choose what you want to sync.
Okay, awesome. Next question.
Yes.
I have pictures on multiple devices. Old laptops, old desktop that still runs, but it's extremely slow. current laptop, mini SD cards, iPhone, etc. What is my best bet for getting all of the pictures in one place while still having a backup?
Ooh, so when I read that question, my immediate thought is this is not going to be a single step process.
Yeah.
This is going to be a multi-step process. Step one for me would be collect. In fact, we actually did this with Tony.
Yes.
Yeah.
And is that on the blog, Molly? Did we actually do a blog post?
Yep.
She had the exact same issue. She had laptop. She had phone.
Find
she
that
had
actual blog post and we'll know what to call it or what it's named so we can search it.
Yeah, it's Project Photo Rescue, wasn't it?
Well, yes, but we have a whole bunch of those types of blog posts. But Molly's going to look up the exact name of this blog post because if you're best at learning in written form and kind of seeing an outline, because Kevin did that. Kevin did this with Tony here in our office. We had the conversation. We did a Facebook
video,
Live.
Yep.
Yes, and it's all there.
It's all there. So
Yeah.
Molly's going to get that, but we'll address it quickly here.
Yeah.
So the idea is step one would be to gather all of those assets, those pictures, the videos, get them into one place. Figure out what
Amen.
that place is.
It's a good
whether
feeling.
it's Dropbox, it's iCloud, or whatever. And keep in mind too, there's going to be some duplicates.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've got a laptop here and a CD of archived images here, there's most likely going to be some duplicates there. Don't worry about the duplicates right off the bat. Step one would be get all of those assets into one place. Then you can worry about removing duplicates, and there's a question specific to that later on too. And then once you have a good, clean copy of everything, your superset copy of everything, then you can look at backing up.
Yeah.
So backing up would be the last thing, and that would be a combination of maybe cloud backup or local backup on a second hard drive that you keep at a friend's house, any kind of a backup.
I have to say something to that though.
Yep.
Carrie, can you hear me?
Yes.
Pop in.
Here comes Carrie.
Okay, so Carrie and I just did a Facebook Live recently because she nearly thought she lost absolutely everything. There she
Yes,
is.
I
There's
remember
sassy new
that.
hair.
Yes, you do.
Okay, so we did this because he was just saying, like, get everything totally organized and then backup would be the last thing. That's actually what kept Carrie from backing up at all, and then she was in a panic situation. And so just the twist on that, just
Yeah.
another kind of angle, because there's obviously no right or wrong to anything that we're talking about here. Just another way to think about it is just to get it
in.
Backed up.
Like for me, because I didn't have, I was like, I need to get it organized, whatever, and I didn't have it organized, so I'm like, well, I'm just going to wait until I have it organized. And so I didn't have it backed up the way that I know
she
better.
knows. Yeah.
I didn't have it backed up the way that I knew that I should, because I was like, well, once I get it all organized, then I'll make sure that I have it here and here and here. And so for me, when it was Lindsay that asked me the question, Lindsay Ross,
We love you, Lindsay.
we love you, Lindsay. She's the one that asked. Now, so I just want to understand, like, why is it that you have it backed up? And I'm like, because I wanted to get it organized. And she's like, but now you don't have any of it because you didn't have it organized. So for me, I had to take the approach once I started to gather and I realized, okay, I have this here and this here. Like, I was able to find most of what I felt like I'd lost. I just thought, I just need to get it backed up.
And then you
The
can
organization
do it.
will come if and when I have time to organize. But even if I don't ever have time to organize it, which heaven help me, I will.
Heaven help her.
Even
help
if
us
I
all.
never have time to organize, at least I have it in multiple places that I can get back if one of those methods fails me.
I guess the reason I mentioned what I mentioned was if you're going to spend all that time to back up all these different devices, it might be just as quick to consolidate, to get it all together. I mean, there's no...
But that's what I did, was I gathered it all in one spot in Dropbox, and then from Dropbox, I have it on my external hard drive, and I have it backing up to Backblaze right now. So it's the same
But you
data.
went through that
Oh yeah,
consolidation.
everything came
Yeah.
together. So that was exactly what I did.
Backup. Then
Yes.
you can
I
fine-tune your
just brought
organization.
everything together in one spot, whether or not it was organized in the way that I wanted it to be.
Okay, the big
And then have
lesson
that backed
from Carrie and why I wanted to bring her in here based on this question, because it's such a great question, is we
I
don't
didn't even know what
want...
the question was, but
Oh, it's all about this. We don't want anyone, none of us want anyone not backing up just because they think they need to be perfectly organized with their pictures before they do that. So it was worth reminding people what we just talked
Yes,
about recently
totally.
in light of this awesome question that's been asked, because it's so easily put off. People just don't back up because they don't know how. And by the way, you've talked about backing up on our blog as well. If you just go to the blog at Becky, thanks Carrie.
you're
If you just go to
Thanks.
the blog at BeckyHiggins.com and search up backup or backing up, you'll see information there. And then what we were talking about, if you search hot mess on
That's
the blog,
right.
Yes, because it was Tony's hot mess.
Tony's hot mess.
Totally, because she relates. A lot of us relate to so many of you, which you do feel like you have a hot mess of pictures that are just everywhere. And how do you
And by the way,
organize them?
that whole project was not staged at all. That was literally her hot mess.
Oh yeah.
And
it was not staged. That was her hot mess. She was so awesome to be willing to share that. Okay.
By the way, March 31st, every year, March 31st, which we just passed, just happened, is World Backup Day.
Oh.
Happy World Backup Day last week.
Honestly, I think every day should be World Backup Day, but the idea is every March 31st, it's a day to just like remind ourselves, are we backing up?
That's awesome.
So today is March 31st for all of us, in a sense of, are we backing up?
Are we? Ask yourself. Next question.
Next question.
Kevin and I and our spouses would like to go to lunch and a movie today. That's our plan this afternoon. So we got to try to cram a lot in the next 15
Let's
minutes.
do it.
And then we can do this again. Yes, Molly.
Jenica just noticed your nails. She's
Jenica.
Why, thank you.
What? Jenica, I haven't put color on my nails in 8.5 years. That is not a lie.
Yeah, she said I've never seen color.
I know.
Way to go, Jenica. That's observant.
Like for the entire duration of this company and having this business, Miriam hasn't even been here this long, and she was so sick of my French manicure. She was over it. So she was excited to see my color tape. Inspired by his wife, my sister-in-law, who was just painting her nails last night, and I'm like, pass that to me. And I literally painted my nails while you and David, you probably didn't notice.
I didn't notice.
They were setting up a new monitor in our home office, and anyway, thanks for noticing. On to more tech topics.
By the way, back up.
Okay. Okay, this one's for me, Becky, but it's probably for you. Well, we'll find out. I would love for you to explain how you use Dropbox and iPhotos specifically in your business. You share these amazing photos that are completely branded to your business, and I don't understand how you share them from your phone. Okay, I think I understand what you're asking. So if you look at my social sharing here on Facebook or on Instagram, you're going to see a mix of photos that are, some of them, most of them actually, are shot with the iPhone. Mine, Molly's, Carrie, like whoever's taking the picture that's being shared. So most of them are taken with that. We do have Miriam, who is our in-house photographer, who takes, I'm going to say, legit photos on her with a DSLR. And so those are not sitting on the phone natively, right? They have to be somewhere. You're a little loud. Love ya. Okay. That's probably Lauren.
It probably is.
No, she's in my office. Anyway. All right, so they are, we store all of our pictures and all of our files in Dropbox. That's where they are. And so how do I magically get them on social media if I'm using my phone? And the answer to that question is, it goes back to Dropbox. I mean, we do I can't even imagine running a business without Dropbox. You can't either. Like, I don't even know what that life was before Dropbox. So,
it was ugly.
Yeah, well, I just don't even remember it. So anyway, they're in Dropbox. Well, Dropbox is just as much an app as it is on your computer or online as a website. So what we do, and I mean all of us here on the team, we all work in Dropbox and with the social media. That is not a one-man show. And so any of us who is sharing something on social media, we literally just go into Dropbox, and that's a whole other topic for another day about how we organize our social media, sharing and stuff like that. But the file, at the end of the day, the file sitting there in Dropbox, just save it. Do you do this too? Save it to your camera roll.
Yep.
And then when you open Instagram, you just pull it in from the camera roll, and then you delete it from the camera roll. That's it. Like that's how I use it. Mm-hmm. So do you have anything else to add to that?
No, actually, but as you described that, I know you guys use it very heavily. I know a lot of the clients that I work with use it very heavily. And one of the features that I love about Dropbox in business specifically is the commenting features.
Yes.
And I know you guys use that all the time. So the way that works, and I don't want to get into too much of the details, you post a file to Dropbox, and then people comment on that file, almost like it's its own internal social network. So people will comment on that file, oh, I don't like that part of the picture, or I really like this, can you change that?
We need this to get finalized. Hey, so-and-so, can you check this? And you add people's names, and it tags them.
Right.
And so I'm notified via email that Molly's tagged me on something, and I go check it out to fix something or to add my commentary. But it's not an email dialogue. Does that make sense? So it's way less back and forth through email because it's all right there with the picture or with the image.
But that commenting feature is a feature that I wish more people used within Dropbox. It's very cool.
It's still relatively new. A lot of people may not even know about it. But if you're using Dropbox specifically within your business, don't miss out on that.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm so glad that came up. Okay, someone says, how do I get all of the old photos off my iPhone? And she goes on to explain, I mean, there's just so
more
many.
detail.
And,
so the short answer to that one, and I know we've talked about this before, there's a couple ways you can get pictures off of a phone, but the reality is this is not a traditional file system. This is not like a hard drive that you can plug into a laptop and then just copy files off. Using specific software, you can actually kind of do that in a way. The software that I'm referring to that you know about is called iMazing. So the idea is you plug your phone into your laptop and then you open up this iMazing application, which is a paid application. It's not free. And then it gives you access to the phone almost like it is a hard drive, and then you can just copy and paste or just drag and drop pictures off of your phone onto your local hard drive.
That's what I use. And I actually don't hear about it talked about. I'm not even saying that it's necessarily one of those hidden secrets that everyone should know. I use it simply because you introduced me to it. You got me hooked up with it. And I love it. It makes sense for me. I use it because I don't use iPhoto.
Right.
And that's...
Which is now called Photos.
Photos,
Yeah.
That's right. I don't use that anymore. I used to. But with Dropbox, I don't. It's not part of my workflow.
Yeah.
And so I like to plug in and through iMazing get everything, like when I do my monthly dump. Oh gosh, that's...
Can we edit that out?
Okay.
Live.
I'm sorry.
Let me take over.
Okay,
for a
yeah,
second.
it's probably a good idea that I just
She's
stop
blushing.
right now. Okay, wait, hold on,
Okay,
hold
go
on.
ahead and finish that
10-second context. Go to the blog and search resolutions, and you will read all about my monthly dumping of photos from my phone so that my camera roll is always cleaned up. That is exactly and precisely what I'm talking about, and no other connotations.
No.
I also do a daily delete, which is very important if you're new to all of this
Yes.
and you haven't read about that. Please search resolutions on my blog and read all about it, because I love it. It's a part of my workflow.
So
I'm sorry,
I
keep going.
haven't read that entry.
Bye, Miriam.
But bye, Miriam.
My sister.
See ya. So so I haven't read that that blog post, but I do that same thing, probably in a slightly different way. At the end of every day, I just go through and delete the pictures that I know I'm not going to want to keep.
We are so
and leave
cut from the same cloth.
That's awesome.
It just, yeah.
One more
Okay.
quick
Yes.
plug for iMazing.
Yeah.
Because I know we're kind of short on time. And I have no affiliation with iMazing at all, other than I just love the application. But there's so much more you can do with iMazing. You can download text message threads. You can download call logs. You can basically anything that's stored on your phone, you can get off of it through
That's
iMazing.
really
It's
cool.
really cool,
That's
including
really cool.
backups.
So,
So-
amazing. Just like it sounds.
Yep.
And
Okay.
is that just for Apple products?
Oh,
yeah.
it is Mac.
Mac.
Yeah.
So that's not for PC.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Good question.
And he knows a whole lot about PC as well, by the way. He's just, there's bias. You like the Apple
there is
products,
bias,
but you
yeah.
also used to...
I work every day in Windows. Yeah.
I'm
so
sorry.
not every application that is written for Mac works on Windows, and vice versa. I would say maybe 80% of the applications that I use are cross-platform.
Yep.
But anyway,
Yeah.
I am biased for sure.
Me too.
Yeah.
I can't ever go back. All right, so how do I take pictures off my phone and send them to Dropbox? I'm just going to say, based on what we were just talking about, that there's a little replication. My workflow personally is I use iMazing. I plug my phone into my computer, and through iMazing I pull photos, and I literally just drag and drop them into Dropbox.
Yep.
So what else do you
So
want to say about
that's
that?
one method. The other method that I would suggest is, as long as you have the Dropbox app on your phone or iPad or whatever, on your iOS device, there is a way that you can actually save the pictures from your camera roll directly into Dropbox that way. If you tap on Action, and we won't do a show and tell, but if you tap on Action, there's an option to save to Dropbox.
Okay, and I've done that
Directly
so
from
many
the phone.
times with just an individual picture. Can you do that in a batch? Can you?
I think you
Yes,
can.
I figured out a way recently. And
Oh,
I think
really?
it's-
If you do select and then tap the pictures
Yes.
and then do Action in Dropbox, I think you
Okay,
can do
I'm
that.
going to look
There's a way
into
to
that
do it.
because that's awesome.
And I don't think there's a limit to that. I don't do it very often, but
The way I did it, I think, was from Dropbox. I was in Dropbox and I
And
went
then
to
you
upload
pulled it
file.
in.
And then I
Okay.
could select as
That's
many
a
as
third
I
option.
wanted.
Yeah, perfect.
Because that was making me nuts.
Okay.
Molly.
And they can hear that, right?
Yeah, they can hear that.
Awesome.
Yes.
Good.
Okay, so that's worth looking
So
into.
lots of different options.
That's awesome. Okay, I'm watching the clock. All right, let's do a couple more. And Molly, let us know if there's anything else from those who are watching live. And thank you, by the way, for those of you who actually are here live. we appreciate you being here. We know it's tricky to fit with your schedule, so we're grateful that you're here, and also super stoked that so many of you could watch this at a later time. All right, Molly.
Molly has a question.
Couple of questions about Dropbox. Do the photos lose any resolution when you put them into Dropbox or Google Photos or anything?
Nope. Short answer.
If it's a high resolution photo, when you upload it, it'll be a high resolution.
Okay. And then once someone has uploaded them to Dropbox, are they safe to delete them from their phone?
That's actually one of the questions on
Okay.
here that we were going to address, but we'll do that now.
Yeah.
So the answer is if they upload it to Dropbox and then delete it from the phone, those files are two totally separate files. They have their Dropbox version and their Photos version or camera roll version. They're totally separate. So you can delete the picture from here and it has no effect on this one, or vice versa.
Cool.
Awesome.
By the way, one of the other really cool things with Dropbox is if you do happen to delete a picture from your Dropbox account, depending on the version of the account that you have, you can actually undelete that file, any file, not just pictures. You can undelete that file for up to 30 days or longer if you have the right account. So if you delete a whole bunch of files from Dropbox, you can go and undelete those files, which is really cool.
That's awesome.
So Dropbox is technically not a backup solution, but it sure does act like one.
But it totally is.
It keeps everything for
Yeah.
a very long time.
Oh,
So
yeah.
anyway.
I love Dropbox. I want to mention that there's been a couple of questions about iMovie. But I feel like we're short on time, and we were talking about it as a team this morning actually, that there are so many great questions about iMovie. It's a little bit of a bigger topic in our community lately because I've been sharing a lot more.
We should almost do something
videos.
just on that.
I know, and we are.
I'm
So I
whispering
actually.
so they don't hear.
Oh, in case they hear us. So you need to just move here, first of all. But since you don't,
It's the
at
weather.
this point,
I don't like the weather. It's too
yeah,
cold.
it's terrible here. But we are actually going to do a whole Facebook Live broadcast. I date to be announced that Miriam and I will do. If you happen to be in town, join us. And he could
Let
speak
me
for
know
days
ahead of
about
time.
it, but I know, for
Let me
real.
know ahead of time.
Because that's
Seriously.
like, really, that is in and of itself its own topic, is
Yeah.
iMovie, and not just that, but video storage and organization, and that's not today. So I wanted to just acknowledge all of you who are asking questions about that. That is a topic in and of itself, and we're excited to address it.
That would be fun.
So, all right, did we already answer this one? I'm saving all of my photos to Dropbox now chronologically, but is there a way to also tag or somehow organize by keywords? Is this a good time to talk about Google Photos?
Yeah, go ahead. Do you use Google Photos?
I do not technically, but we have a few people here at the
I know
office.
Race
is
does.
a
Do you
huge
use Google
fan
Photos?
of Google Photos. Our friend Steph Clay, who does Modern Photo Solutions, is like the biggest advocate of Google Photos, and you can actually do a free 30-minute class, modernphotosolutions.com. You can go check it out. But I love the theory behind Google Photos because you can search. I can search Kevin,
Yeah.
or I can search beach, or I can search
Or dog, or
dog,
whatever.
or,
And
like,
it
seriously.
analyzes every picture, and it kind of automatically tags everything.
Slightly creepy, but way cool, right? So, yeah, I just want to say that, I mean, you should answer the question, not me, but she's asking,
Well,
can you tag or something by keywords? But
Yeah,
I just want to make sure you know about Google Photos as well.
So specifically in Dropbox, I'm not aware of a way to do that right now. So the way that I do it, I keep mine really simple. I do it chronologically. So every year has a folder, and within that folder I have that year's worth of pictures, and I can quickly just kind of scroll through those pictures.
Me too.
And so that's in the spirit of keeping things really simple, because that's how I do this. That's what I do. But there's not a way to tag pictures because keep in mind, Dropbox is not a photo management system.
Right.
It's a file system. It's
It
a
is.
cloud-based file system.
That's a great way to explain it.
And so there are some things that lack in terms of photo management and other, it's like it's not a CRM system. It's not a finance system, but people use it to store financial data. So it's a file system. So I'm not aware of a way to tag files. That'd be a really cool feature, though.
It would be, but in the meantime, for real, even though I can't personally attest for Google Photos for myself, I totally get what it is. I'm probably, FYI, going to get everything going on Google Photos as an additional backup for all of ours. That's something that I've been thinking about doing anyway, and
So
it's kind of like a why not?
Yeah,
Why not?
some of the benefits with Google Photos is it's free, unlimited storage. It keeps your photos forever. It syncs it across all your devices.
Yep.
I personally don't use it. I live in the Apple ecosystem, and so I use iCloud Photos Library, which does effectively the same thing. I can tag my pictures and organize them that way, and
but it's less automated. That's the thing that's like a distinguishing is that
Yes.
Google Photos is more automated, which I know people for sure appreciate. If they want to be able to search a person that they've already tagged,
that's a big benefit to Google Photos.
That's a big deal, and it makes sense. I can totally get behind it conceptually. I'm being totally honest and saying I haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
why don't you choose one more
question
to address, and then anything else that Molly has, and we'll catch our movie today. We got a movie to watch.
You know what? So let's address one more question here.
Okay.
Do you want me to read it?
Yes.
And I'll have you answer it.
Oh boy.
Reverse
yes,
the roles a
I am
little
such
bit.
a tech expert.
Okay, ready? Over the years, I have accumulated a lot of photos on my computer. Somehow, some of the older photos have quite a few copies of the same photos in iPhoto or Photos. Can you recommend a quick way, maybe an app, that would help me identify duplicate photos and get rid of them?
Yes.
Your answer?
My answer is that Kevin can tell you. I have no idea.
No idea. So there actually is an app. There's this app I discovered maybe a year and a half ago. It is on the Mac App Store. So if you're going to do a lot of heavy lifting, the way that I do it is on my Mac, not on my phone, because there's just more options.
Yeah.
The application is called Duplicate Photo Finder.
Oh.
Duplicate
Photo Finder.
And I think I already have the app, so I can't see what the price is, but I want to say it's like $5. It's impulse purchase. What that does, it essentially looks at your entire library, and it looks at metadata, it looks at file sizes, it looks at dates, it looks at all of that information to come up with a list of photos that are duplicates. And it says, okay, Kevin, here I'm presenting you with a list of duplicate photos. What do you want to do with these? Because it's not going to automatically clean it up for you.
Right.
There needs to be some human intelligence that goes into it. And so it will present you with a list of duplicate photos, and you say, yep, delete the duplicates.
And then
it gets rid of all the duplicates and leaves one master copy remaining.
That's so nice.
Very slick.
I do want to say something else to that from a very real life practical standpoint. Just like we were talking earlier with Carrie, what we don't want people to do is put off backing up because you have to be perfectly organized first. I say that because you and I both know that we know a lot of people that have those OCD tendencies of it has to be a certain way before I do the next thing. Same goes for this. If you are worried about backing up first, if you have too many duplicates or whatever, don't stress about it. You don't have to do what we're talking about. I think that's actually a really cool app. It's a great suggestion for people who feel like they are in the right season. They have the time to just go through and actually clean up and stuff. But I would rather have too many pictures than missing pictures or pictures that are completely lost because they weren't backed up. So just...
This kind of automates that process to a certain extent. It can be overwhelming.
For sure.
And,
all of it.
And kind of along those lines, I would, once you've collected your pictures, do a good solid backup before, make a copy of the photos somewhere so that you have a copy of that in case the application goes haywire, frankly. Because it could. It's software. It's not perfect. It's technology.
It's technology.
Right? So
you can never trust it completely.
Yeah. So even if you do find a good app like this one and it happens to go haywire, at least you have something to roll back.
Yeah.
And recover anything lost.
I bet there's a lot of people who are super glad to know about that.
Yeah, it's a great little app.
Okay, so we're gonna stop there with. I know.
We have another hour or two.
I know. We could do this weekly.
Let's
so,
bag lunch
like I
in a
said,
movie.
but no, I'm so no. My husband and your wife are very much looking forward to lunch and movie. Is that fun? We're gonna go have a little day date. The four of us before they leave town tomorrow. Molly, anything else from our live audience?
No. Do you have any idea an app similar to iMovie for the Android?
Let me quickly Google real quick.
While he Googles that,
Yep.
can you,
Go for it.
I want to let you know before anyone leaves or just as you're hearing this, that we're going to be on Facebook Live again this week. Speaking of technology, I'm so excited because our very own Molly, who's right there, sitting behind the camera,
Hi, Molly.
monitoring your questions, is actually going to be talking to us about, speaking of technology, internet safety and basically trying to be a little bit smarter about the way that we're protecting our homes and our families because there's so much crap out there and we all know that. But she's really been able to research a ton. And she's learned, her eyes have been very opened. As a mom who just wants to do nothing's foolproof, right? But there's certain things that you can do to be more protective about that for yourselves, for your children, for your families. And so tune in on Friday. Is that 1 o'clock Pacific?
Pacific.
Okay, so 1 o'clock Pacific time, 4 o'clock Eastern on Friday. Mark your calendar if you care at all about any of that, which I bet most of you do. So that's when we're on Facebook Live again. I know you will be.
I'll be tuning in.
All right, so you found
So
it.
you know what? My recommendation is going to be just do a quick Google for iMovie alternatives for Android. And so one of the pages that came up here, there's about 10 different options. Anyway, there are options out there. See what works best for you.
Yeah.
Look at the price, look at the features. There's screenshots of all of them. So I'm not going to make a recommendation necessarily just because I haven't used any of them. But
you guys are here on Facebook. Go ahead. If you're on Android and you have a great movie video making type app that you love and you can recommend, you can get behind it, please leave a comment.
Yeah,
for sure. We'll check
perfect.
that out too. So, all right.
Awesome.
Thank you guys for being here. Thanks.
All right.
That was awesome.
Fun stuff.